All right, well, Men's Fashion Week has hit London, Milan, and Paris. What are the trends that will be coming from the runway? Sometimes you can't wear exactly what you see on those runways in everyday life, but it's about taking the elements of the looks and having them work for you. Joining us now to talk more about Men's Fashion Week is our fashion contributor, Dara Ambriz. And Dara, I gotta say, I'm really excited about some of the trends that you're bringing, because a lot of times I look at them and I'm like, meh, not for me.
Yeah.
These I can get on board with.
And that's the thing about what you see on the runway, it's you take pieces of it. You know, fashion is about putting yourself on the edge, but how can you incorporate that into everyday wear?
Right.
And so, like we were talking before we got on air, Italy is loving the Western look, and so Gucci has shown some really cool, you know, Western wear tops, very asymmetrical, and even incorporating kind of like an Asian embroidery into them. But then it looks like they're paired with like Wrangler jeans, you know, and gold boots. Valentino did some really fun, you know, it looks like Pendleton. And then, you know, emerging designer Antonio Maras did this really cool graphic of a cowboy and then has the tied bandana around the neck. So it's really kind of cool to see kind of that basic wear come off of high fashion.
Right, right. Okay, so that I'm definitely on board with. Something that a lot of people, it can kind of come and go throughout the years, is military.
Yes.
Which, you know, very different from the Western style. But it's really difficult. How do you incorporate military into regular fashion?
Well, you can totally go all out and, you know, have a camo look from head to toe.
Right.
But it's a three-piece suit. That's the urban camo look. But Prada pulled in kind of more of a naval look. So that navy blue, pea coats, but then put together, you know, of course, the navy hats, the sailor caps. And then also looking at, you know, Emporio Armani, very classic, very, you know, high style, but looking at bomber jackets and, you know, the, captain suiting. That's how you can incorporate the military into your look.
Because the other two on the right-hand side, those look a little more conservative, like something that you could pull off on, you know, the regular, any regular day.
Every day, yeah.
You think, I just think about that line from Back to the Future when he goes back wearing the vest and he's like, "Did you jump ship?" You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So we got that as well, and the style of Americana. So this is something that's a little separate from Western.
Exactly. When you think of Americana, you kind of think of Tommy Hilfiger, you think of Calvin Klein.
Okay.
Ralph Simmons did something really kind of overboard. You know, he recently left Dior, which was high couture. Before that, he was ready to wear. He did this line that kind of reminds me of Billy Madison, very kind of frat boy, you know, torn varsity sweaters, but he did it over the top. He said it was his patron to David Lynch, whose David Lynch's birthday was the day that he did his show. So very oversized, out of proportion, but again, those varsity sweaters, the embroidered, you know, V-necks, but then also looking at some of the other styles. Of course, Calvin Klein showed in Italy, and so pairing that Italian style, that flair, with metallics, but then that classic denim and denim jackets. And so you see V-necks, you see beanies, you see layers of clothing. So very kind of more like college look is what I would say Americana versus Western.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Well, so obviously, you know, especially looking at the frat sweater that looked 4 sizes too big.
Too big, yeah.
How do we incorporate some of these looks and these trends into our closet every day?
Okay, so an easy way to do that, varsity sweaters are really lots of fun. And you can go to a thrift store and find, you know, an older version of it. You know, Gap is known for those types of sweaters. You know, if you go to, you know, Nob Hill, looking at Izzy Martin, Toad Road, pulling those kind of looks together are an easy way to do it, you know, and layers, you know, looking for wovens that you can incorporate, you know, Western wear. All those types of things are ways that you can kind of pull that off. Some of the really cool trends that we saw were accessories. So a lot of hats were used, beanies, you know, to the fedoras, to, you know, the sailor cap, you know, and a lot of the models were carrying accessories down the runway. You know, one of the designers had this really sleek suit, but then carried a skateboard and bag. And then, of course, Gucci, Alessandro Michele, who I love, likes to play on the lines of androgynous, was having Gucci bowlers for guys to be carrying down the runway, which typically women carry.
Really? So. Okay. Okay. So obviously a lot of different things that we can play with. If we want to go online, we want to search. What would you recommend? Because I'll tell you, after work I'm going to start searching this Western style because I'm all about that. I love that.
You know, going online, I definitely would look at Fashion Week. It's you can go to Mercedes-BenzFashionWeek.com. You can go to Radar GPS, the business of fashion. If you want to see the runways and the styles from that, I would actually I would suggest going like to Nob Hill. Go talk to Rufus at Izzy Martin. He is on top of those trends, and so
Okay.
they're bringing in those looks here on time for people to have in advance.
That's
So
great.
going to small boutiques and talking to the owners, they're really on top of that kind of stuff, and they'll take the time to talk to you.
And it keeps
So-
it local.
And it keeps it
Which
local.
I'm all about.
Yes.
All right, Dara Ambres, thank you so much for this information again, guys. If you want a full recap on what is trending for the men this spring, head over to casa.com.